Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I'm excited because we got some insane stuff to cover here. We got the Beast Mode event, we have the Power Sword mode, we have solos coming back, we have April Fool's mode coming in. So it looks like we're getting a lot of diversity of modes coming, and it looks like the Power Sword mode has some changes that isn't just going to be maybe the Final Fantasy kind of thing. It looks like there's some real thought behind everything. Alter buff, you can see from the quick trailer right there. We have some sick stuff coming for the Skirmisher class as a whole. It looks like Wraith running animation is also back. I skimmed through the notes, but I wanted to give my first raw impression, so I looked as quickly as possible and I was like, okay, this is what we're looking at. Let's dive in. Everything's going to be timestamped. Let's just get right into it. So let's just discuss. Remember, the link to the official patch notes will be in the description down below. Now let's talk about this. From March 25th to April 15th, we got 3 different pretty much modes that are coming out. The first mode is Power Sword Royale. It says a power sword is in your hands if you can find it, that is. At the beginning of each match and once per round, a power sword will spawn and be up for grabs imbued with strength and close range attacks, and you can wield this new piece of launch energy slashes while ADS, kind of like what you saw from the trailer. Now, Creator Commissioners is still here, so you got yourself up for grabs 2 skins, 1 Legendary Mastiff the Bonebreaker, and of course a Tombstick from a Prizzy, and as well as Kaminari. Apologies if I mispronounced that name. Now, Skirmisher class updates. You might have seen this one coming. It's a Skirmisher class time to shine, like we had mentioned. Oh, and the other modes, just real quick, it was solos and the April Fools. I know they didn't have like a description there. That's just how they organize the patch notes. So the Skirmisher class update, this is pretty huge. In general, they knew that the Skirmisher class is falling behind, and they needed to make some changes to make them a lot more aggressive, I would say, to match more the Assault class. Because a lot of people stopped running Skirmisher. You'll notice the pick rate for Ash was astronomical. It was somewhere around like almost 25% in at some cases. Now, the interesting part here is the first perk, which is called Trailblazer. You receive a speed boost when sprinting towards an ally skirmisher. Allies must be within 20 meters away to receive this bonus. It's pretty much, I guess you could say the downside is this kind of downplays Conduit, because everyone has this perk now. So I wonder if when we go later in the patch notes, if Conduit has had any adjustments. Now, granted, Conduit can do it for any legend, but I really think that this means that Conduit needs to be looked at just a little bit here, because that is a benefit. Now, this helps in terms of skirmishers who are very aggressive. So if you happen to be on your team the most aggressive player, if you happen to be the entry fragger or somebody who goes in, this is a great perk, because remember those teammates that are far behind? Well, guess what? They look at you and they're able to catch up, making you more of the lead dominant in terms of a fight. Of course, the next one, Charge Knock. Skirmishers gain an extra ability charge and 50 HP regen on knock. The extra charge lasts for 30 seconds or until used. Extra charge applies to all Skirmisher legends, TAC except Octane, who gains an additional ult charge instead. So that would mean pretty much his jump pad. That's insane. HP regen will first heal health and then shields if applicable and can be interrupted by damage, which is really insane. So it says, alongside these new perks, most of our Skirmisher legends have received their updates to their abilities, legend upgrades, or both, and the Skirmisher's perfect pairing SMGs are getting some buffs as well. That's pretty sick. Overall here, I mean, this is just going to mean that you can stay in the fight and you can get a lot more creative. I guess, you know, multiple uses of using your Wraith Tactical, your Alter Tactical, your Pathfinder Grapple. It's going to be insane. That's really, really busted in terms of just keeping momentum and going from fight to fight. So if you love to fight, it's going to be really, really cool. Now, of course, they got some new skins. I see the Catalyst one here. Unstoppable limited time cosmetics. This looks like the L-Star. This is the Power Sword. I wonder if that's going to be a universal heirloom. Is it heirloom? Let's see here. After unlocking the Power Sword, the power is in your hands. Customize your new universal melee item with a death box and 3 striking color variants. So, yes? Is this? I don't know. Got to keep looking. It's kind of what I'm getting from it. I just assumed it was more the LTM, but yeah, there it is. Unlock the new universal melee power sword. That's interesting. So, you know, game mode LTM kind of pairs the two together. It's got the nice little Apex logo on it. It's kind of interesting. I kind of wonder what the animations look like. Of course, they have the reward shop. You can take a look at that if you're interested. Let's keep going. So the gold weapon rotation, P2020, Prowler, Volt, and G7 are now gold weapons. The heat shields. Now, any part of the dome that's connected to the ring will mean that it takes damage. Before, it was the core had to be in the ring. Also, now take ramping up damage based on how far away the ring is from the core. So that's interesting. They said heat shields had a few quirks that led to some weird play patterns around the ring's edge. This changes could smooth that out and make them feel more consistent when not fully engulfed by the ring. So that's interesting. So, of course, we had mentioned the Skirmisher class perks, which is the Charge Knock and Trailblazer, which was detailed above. Alter, Void Passage. This is the crazy part. Alter is, I already said she was secretly meta. Now I think maybe she's not going to be busted. I think in the right hands, you still need to learn how to really play her. But she now has 2 tactical charges. Insane. Maximum portal death increased to 30, which is 20. I don't think people realize how many different places that you can get into or how far you can go with a tactical difference of 30. It is pretty massive. That is a massive buff. The cooldown reduced to 20 seconds. It was 30. The tactical upgrade integrated into base kit. Wow, that's insane. That's crazy. That pretty much means that we're going to see a change here with also one of her perks. Health bars shown on enemies after going through your portal, your own void passage. So they also integrated that to the kit. Great, that's a massive buff. Maximum length of void siphon. Interactable rope with tactical created from ceilings increased to 45. That's great. That gives a little more options to try to get to height. Also created when placing unreachable portals on wall with a maximum length of 20. That I'm going to have to test out. Because that, what does that mean? That means that a rope also now created when placing unreachable portals on walls. So that means that a portal should appear along, like a rope alongside of a wall. So then you can go up if it's not reachable. So that will require some further testing. I'll have to do a video on that to see what that entails. So my assumption is when we're looking at this is like, okay, you put it too high up, it's going to create, you know, let's say we're going to a building, there's like a room there and you put your tactical, it should create a rope in theory of 20 meters. So the placement preview now shows where a void siphon will be created, if there will be one. Okay, that's cool. Void passage briefly highlights enemies on the other side immediately after placement. Cool. Okay. All right. Yeah. I mean, that's kind of what I thought. Oh, that's the health bars. Okay. Some little testing to kind of see how this nuance works, but overall massive buff to the tactical. Cool. Across the board, further distance, stuff is integrated into the kit, easier for teams to take it, and it means if you place it too high that you're going to be able to get up. Void Nexus, now reusable with each player having their own 30-second cooldown. That's great. So you could have it up forever and use it and then 30 seconds later use it again. That's fantastic. So people don't have to keep their own internal timer, especially with new players who people aren't playing with Alter. That confuses a lot of players. 2 can be active in the world at the same time. This is now integrated. Wow, that's insane because going for that perk was... So I wonder what they're going to even buff. Interact directly with a Void Nexus to summon your knocked allies, and summon allies can move and use their knockdown shield. You can summon your knocked allies. That's cool. And summon allies can move to use their knocked shield. Huh. That's interesting. I'm going to have to play with that because I assume you would have to go to the Void Nexus itself, interact, and then summon them over. I think what the solve here is that when people just don't use it, and you're like, please take the port, take the port, take the port, and they don't take it, this kind of adds an element of like, here, I'm going to save you. That's pretty cool, but it says interact directly, so I don't know what that means. We'll have to test. Ult is otherwise not interactable from a short distance, making it easier to revive a squad mate without accidentally triggering the Void Nexus. It doesn't say the distance here, so I assume there's like a radius, that it's like a internal radius that you can't use it, and then you can use it further away. I guess it's not necessarily a downside. Gift from the Rift can now grab banners when using passive on squad mate's death box. Wow, that's cool. That's that's really cool. That's a good buff. You can actually grab banners. Yeah, cool. I'm like thinking about that. I'm like, yeah, that's exactly what should have been done. Yeah, I like it. Upgrades to level 2. So they removed Ringmaster. Wow, so you can't hit console anymore. And they also removed Void Vision because that was integrated. I kind of liked hitting the consoles though. So what does this mean? We gain all support perks. That's great. So she could be a reset. Faster revives with health regen, gain mobile respawn beacon with banners, works with gift from the Rift. Nice. That is a nice seamless transition. I would say if you're playing ranked, that's probably the better go. And the other one says here, to another world, gain all recon perks. So you can gain threat vision when ADSing and access to recon beacons. The only thing I kind of wish was that you had Ringmaster. But this is fine. I guess it makes more sense with her kit. This kind of fits more of her being, you know, a mastery of resetting and portaling in and out and then playing aggressive versus just randomly being able to control the console. So, you know, that's not bad, but that is a nerf into the ring console in terms of having an aggressive team being able to play zone. So something to keep in mind. Now, upgrades level 3 to remove multiple dimensional course, because that was integrated in the cooldown, which is also integrated. So they have a new one called Void Breacher. Using a friendly Void Passage grants move speed and improved reloads. Ooh, that's fun. I like that a lot. That's pretty much like coming in line with the, oh, what's the word I'm looking for? Like the Assault class, essentially. New Staring into the Void. Void Passages scan duration 15 seconds for Ultra Laceration. What? Scan requires line of sight to enemy from portal exit to the portal entrance for altar. What? A void passage scan. So a void passage just meaning like your tactical scan duration 15 seconds? That seems a little excessive. Last duration of void. That's insane. Wait, like around it? Like, what's the radius of this? Scan requires line of sight to enemy from the portal exit. Oh, okay. So you got to be. It's almost like a CCTV camera or something. The way I imagine it, that seems really insane. It's like okay. So here's the thought process. You can essentially put the port and then know what's in there before you take it, or just take it right away and then have your integrated now new tactical void vision. So I guess there's that benefit. What? That's insane, dude. Essentially, you just have free eyes. You just have like, what? I mean, it's not wall hacks. I mean, it's wall hacks because once you set it up, but if they're hiding behind something, then you can't see them. So I guess there is that. Like, this is insane. It takes everything to the next level here of just being really flexible with Alter, and that's really cool. I honestly think that it might be too much, but at the same time, her tactical requires a lot of map knowledge. Her ultimate requires a lot of team synergy and thought process. And I pause for a minute because I'm just thinking about it. I mean, at the end of the day, it takes a well-thoughtful player to play her. I even call that she's really insane in the right hands, but does that mean like a casual player is going to be able to play her and then succeed? I don't know the answer to that. I guess we'll find out how user-friendly she is. I mean, I love her. I think she's fantastic. So Ash got a nerf. The Void Breach ult increased to 2 minutes and 30, so now it's just 30 seconds longer. The Skirmisher class perks changed should rival much of Ash's dominance, is pretty much what they're saying here. Easing the pressure of pretty much picking Ash. Now Horizon got a buff, it looks like. The tactical cooldown moved to level 2, ult cooldown moved to level 2 as well, so that's nice. You can choose to at least reduce that, but she got some new perks because the Big Bang and Battery just really didn't fit her style. The new Conservation of Energy Spacewalk grants 25 shield regen on soft landings. Nice. So if you're playing aggressive or you've come off your tactical, then you're going to regen into that fight. New Combat Reserves access assault bins, carry extra. Wow, she pretty much could be an assault class with this. And extra grenade slots. That's actually very helpful. The grenade slots are great synergy with her ultimate. I think that's pretty nice. I think with the new meta, she does need that, because when she flies up in the air with the current TTK, she gets absolutely obliterated. And yeah, she's hard to track in the air, but you don't have to land as many shots to succeed, is kind of the thing. So that makes her, at least when she lands, she has a little bit more of a reason to kind of push aggressively. I don't see as many Horizon players, but I'm sure Horizon players would probably appreciate the changes here. A little bit did get a nerf. The Escape Artist reduced shield regenerated to 25. This was 50. Pathfinder, there we go. We got a buff. Finally, for our Pathfinder friends, new grapple cooldown. They decreased the tactical by 10 seconds. It's good. Also, the Skirmisher perks. This is really nice. Revenant, the Assassin's Instinct. Allies can now see the low health tracking marker like Revenant. Cool. The Shadow Pounce activation time reduced by 30%. The cooldown reduced to 20 was 25. Forged Shadow Ultimate HP increased by 25. I don't know how I feel about that one. It was pretty busted before, but the current TTK, it may not be that bad. Upgrades level 2, Murder Machine removed. They do have a new one called Try to Hide. Doubles the duration of the passive mark when getting enemies to low HP. That's actually kind of nice. I mean, it's like it kind of combats the assault class a bit more with their passive, because otherwise his was kind of feeling a little bit more useless. Upgrades level 3, Grim Leaper has been removed. The new Agile Assassin reduces Shadow Pounce activation time and charge by half. Yeah, and the tactical cooldown reduced to 15 was 20. So they did mention Revenant's fallen significantly from his reign of dominance. Yeah, because the assault class is just so good. His raid boss ultimate has less potent with regen structure, and we want to give more strength back into initial activation of his ult, especially amidst a new TTK. Yeah, that's why I was like, I don't know if how much that it's gonna, even though it's more HP, is it really gonna make that big of a difference? I guess we'll see. We'll see. So Wraith, This is nice. Original third-person run animation has returned. Now, Into the Void, the cooldown decreased to 20, was 25. The tactical activation time decreased to 0.8. This was 1.25, so much faster going into your tactical. You can now exit from the Void at any time by pressing TAC or tactical buttons. Interesting. That's new, isn't it? By pressing attack, or so that means you can, yeah, that gives you a little more control instead of just having to wait it out. Cool. I wonder how that's going to come into play. That's interesting. Dimensional Rift cooldown decreased to 2 minutes and 30. This falls more in line, at least with Ash ult. Now ramps up to max speed much faster when using ult. Cool. Upgrades level 2. Ultimate cooldown now reduced to 1 minute and 30. Makes her more positive for rotation, because we've lost a lot of power within Wraith. A lot of power. Fast phase now decreased tactical activation by 30%. This reduces the activation time to 0.5, was 1 second. The tactical, this pretty much feels like this would be OG Wraith, but even better. Wraith is getting a number, yeah, OG Wraith, closer to original form. Her sped up activation allows her to be more reactive and aggressive with her attack, especially when paired with the new Skirmisher perk. Yeah, this really puts her much back in line of like, I mean, Wraith used to be really iconic, and I really feel like she's fallen off pretty hard. So I'm kind of curious how she's going to come back here. Then with every, okay, here's a quick thought. Now with all these legends that I just mentioned, especially with the tactical, you know, let's just read that back here. You know, the tactical being as strong as it is, Skirmishers gain an extra ability charge. You know, it's literally essentially a tack refresh. Kind of want to highlight that. With imagine, yeah, Alter had to get a lot of buffs, but like now that you have that with every legend, with Horizon, with, you know, Wraith, with Revenant, I mean, that does change a lot. I'm not gonna lie, that I see why they had to buff Alter so much to keep her in line, because everyone else is gonna be just so powerful, including Octane. I mean, extra jump pad, that's insane. Think about that. That's pretty crazy. It's gonna have a very aggro meta, to say the least. So ammo and attachments. The accelerated weapons, there's the hop-up has been removed from the car, the G7 Scout, the Nemesis, but has been added to the P2020, the Volt, and the Wingman. The lasers increase laser effectiveness at all tiers. So interesting. The SMGs across the board have been buffed. They increase the mag size of the alternator by 1 bullet across the board. The car SMG, 1 bullet across the board as well. Just double checking. The R99, it looks like it was also buffed. Not 1 bullet across the board. Yeah, 1 bullet across the board for every mag. And the Volt also looks like, from the looks of it, every mag size, 1 bullet across the board. Interesting, cool. So literally every single mag has been increased by a bullet, just to, looks like, to keep more consistent against burst shotguns. I thought with the TTK SMGs are pretty strong, and this kind of only reaffirms my theory on it. So it's going to be interesting. ARs, of course, the Nemesis has lost its accelerated hop-up, but to keep it in line, the charge deplete time increased to 8 seconds, so it's going to last longer to keep that burst. The delay before charge starts deplete increased to 8 seconds. The increased barrel effectiveness at all tiers. To keep it, I mean, they made the gun stronger. I don't think the Nemesis really needed that. I mean, it was good before. I don't think anybody downplays the Nemesis. Nemesis is great. Devotion. They reduce the intensity in first shots in terms of recoil pattern. They got to change the ramp up time. But at the same time, if you do that, that gun is going to be insane. They remove the reverse hip fire mechanic. The All-Star looks like it's been pretty strong, but it looks like they're nerfing it, which I'm kind of surprised. 30-30 marksman. So the ADS shot increased to 65. This was 58. And of course, they changed the ADS charge headshot, which is now 104, was 93. So making it more of an opener, making it more impactful. You know, we'll take it. Also, they buffed the G7 Scout by a point of damage. The headshot damage increased to 58. They slightly increased the rate of fire. So it seems like what they're trying to do is keep marksman and burst weapons still important and impactful despite... Wow, I mean, when you think about it, okay, the TTK was already buffed before. We're seeing even more buffs. And we're leaning even heavier into the fact that everything eliminates much faster. That's insane. Outside of a few changes, there's been a few nerfs, but across the board, when you think about it, like, that's pretty crazy. Now, P2020s, they normalized laser effectiveness to other weapons. The P2020s had worse than average scaling with lasers. Base hipfire was better than its peers. We've decided to remove this and lean harder into its hipfire actually being part of his identity. Wow, okay, that's a buff to the P20s. I know okay, let me go and say this. I know I'm very biased and I'm very harsh on the P20s. I've just never enjoyed that gun. But I will admit it is strong, okay? In the current meta, it is very strong. It's not my go-to. I still wouldn't use it because I just don't like it. You know, everyone has a bias of guns they prefer. I know it's strong. It is very good. It is up there between S and A tier. It's just, it's just sometimes you don't gravitate to certain guns. But I have to point out my bias here because that's just how I feel about it. The Wingman no longer takes boosted loader hop up. The EVA 8, they widen the blast pattern, so that's a nerf to the EVA 8. Also, the maps that we have for pubs are E-District, Kings Canyon, and Storm Point. And ranked, we're going to bring E-District back, KC, and Storm Point. And it looks like, of course, we got mixtape rotation. I'll link down in the description down below. We talked about the pub's Power Sword Royale. We got April Fool's coming, and we have solos. So lost there, but let's talk about, it looks like they're making some changes to rank. They changed the scoring update. Kills, assist, and participation after 8th will be worth 50%. This was 6. So that's even, would you say that's less punishing or more punishing? Let me read that again. So scoring update, kills, assist, and participation after 8th will be worth 50%. I guess that's a nerf, I guess, right? Am I reading this right? Like, I don't know why this isn't clicking. Like I said, I'm trying to give always the raw impressions here, so I'm not going to be perfect when I read stuff. And like, I don't know why this one isn't clicking for me. Wouldn't you want it to, you want the points to keep scaling, but they will be worth 50% after 8th place. It was 6. So I guess, I mean, that's kind of a slight nerf, I guess, from my eyes. I don't know. Somebody comment down below. New split reset rule, introducing a new tier based split reset rule. Every split system will reset players to the lowest division of their last split rank tier. They will no longer RP reset from rookie 4 to rookie 1. Players will keep the RP they have from the last split. Okay, so bronze 4 is reset to bronze. Oh, sorry. Okay, yeah. So bronze 4 to bronze 1 resets to bronze 4 at 1000. Silver 4 to silver 1 resets to silver 4. Okay. Oh, okay. I get what they're doing. I get the changes. So essentially it's like within your own bracket. Outside of looks like diamond and above looks like to have some adjustments. I guess, okay, let's read the dev note here. To foster fair, competitive, and reduce mismatching, replacing the traditional hard reset with a new tier-based split reset rule. At the end of each split, your performance will determine your tier, and your score will be reset to the minimum threshold of that tier instead of a uniform baseline. This means you'll start the new split with other players at a similar skill level, preserving your progress. Yeah, that makes sense, because, I mean, they were bunching up some stuff. I guess it's just mostly at the start of the split that it's going to help. We'll see how that actually pans out. Certain loot bins once again refill properly after bin reset. They fixed a rare server crash. They fixed a exploit that would allow cheaters to crash the server. Fixed unknown player ranks due to late loading being correctly shown as rookie. If a player's rank is not known by the time a skill display is loaded, those players' ranks are now hidden. Openly extended supply bins will now no longer show an icon after a legend upgrade. Peacekeeper will no longer occasionally fire 2 shots at once while sliding. The Spider Den loot now reflects current loot pool. Oh yeah, because they were dropping, I think they were dropping the Digi threat. Tridents no longer will be sent flying when boarded. That's, yeah. Arsenals ensured Arsenal VFX shown on both akimbo weapons. Arsenals now provide correct amount of ammo after loot bins. Prevented a rare bug where evil harvesters spawn aside. I didn't see that. That's crazy. Rebinding keys no longer prevents using the highlight arsenal map. Let's see. Anything else that really sticks out? Crypto. Oh yeah, the EMP VFX now match the distance where you're getting hit. I've had that happen where I'm clearly staying outside of it, but yet I get hit. Lifeline now revives at support class speed when silenced and is able to deploy dock to revive. Okay. New Calico now once again move his mobile shield while down. Okay. Was that a bug? Yeah, it was a bug. Okay. Quality of life. Improved inconsistency when interacting with bleeding out squadmate near small doors. Pinging from a zipline won't ping the zipline itself. That's good. That's a good change. Legend upgrade prompt will no longer disappear when taking damage by the ring. All other damage types continue to close the prompt. Of course, they reduce audible distance of persistent sound on ballistic while ult is active. Friendly reduced more than enemy. They reduce volume of Alter's active Void Nexus idling. They reduce the volume of Ash's Snare persistence down for self and squad. Catalyst Tact and ult also reduce the barricade volume. Caustic Gas, Mad Maggie, Persistent, Smoke for Bang Tac. Reduce the volume of audible distance of Ballistic, Whistler, Mad Maggie. Slight volume reduction of Bangler's ult rockets impact the drone and Sears. I mean, who's running Sear? So this patch removes the option for DirectX 11. They discussed this earlier before, but you had the option when you load up on Steam. Like, for example, on Steam, it'll say just DirectX 12 or DirectX 11. DirectX 11 is just flat out gone now. They said approximately 1 out of 1,000 players are playing on GPUs older than that at any given time, rather than split their efforts, pretty much upgrading the game for 2 different versions. This will help them only upgrade for 1. So that's interesting. They added a bunch of command lines for DirectX 12 as well. So again, if you enjoyed this video, we covered the patch notes. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. I appreciate all of you guys for being a part. I'm excited for this coming changes that are here. I'm kind of excited to see what the meta is. We had, you know, it's funny. Last stream we just were playing Alter, and I'm really excited to see how she comes into play. If you guys enjoyed the video, again, see you guys all in the next one. Bye, everybody.